Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our very first episode of Ampistrano. I am D&D Jordan Lee, your storyteller, dungeon master, or mistress, about to lead this amazing group of players into this homebrew game. But before we dive into it, we're going to go around and do a couple quick announcements from some of our affiliations, as well as you'll get to know the cast before we dive in. Just a couple things of note. The episodes are going to be running from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, so about 3 hours long, and we'll be taking a break about halfway through. Another thing is we are meeting 3 episodes on in a month, and we'll have the last week off because mental health and all of that is super important to all of us here. But knowing me and my need to constantly be doing things, there's probably going to be something else in its place at the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. I do want to say a couple of very quick thank yous to some incredible people that have helped me, but also this amazing cast get to where we are now. First off is the lovely, the incomparable, the amazing Babs the Bat for running production, as well as creating all of these amazing overlays that you are seeing, the graphics, all the stuff, as well as our opening video, which will be available in the coming weeks. So stay tuned for that. Babs is also running production. Make sure to always say thank you to your producer. Go check out ChaoticTiefling Productions as well for all your overlay needs. I'm biased because I work there, but it's also a ton of fun. Another quick thank you to Waffles Maple Syrup. Syrup is working on some amazing stuff that will be ready hopefully in the next week or two in terms of our character stats. So thank you so much to that, as well as Trace Noir, who has also done our opening intro music that you will also hear next week. There's a ton of people. Duval, Ashen, thank you so much. But I could be here all day thanking everybody. We're going to go around real quick, say some things and hello to the cast, and we're going to start with April.
Hi, I am April. Why do you start? I am April.
Because it's fun.
Hello. I
Yep.
don't know how much am I supposed to
Don't
start
you
with
have
that?
some words about
Oh,
one of the things?
Hi, friends. Hello. How are you doing today? Do you like gaming accessories and battle maps? Do you have an interest in mini crates and deck of story building and obsidian dice and mystery bags? Well, then, do I have an offer for you? We are affiliates at 1985 Games, so enter the code AmpistranoDND to get a portion of your purchase, and make sure to use that referral link in the chat.
Thank you, April. Super excited to have you. Let's jump over to Finn Archer.
Oh, hi, hello. I am Finnegan Archer, and I am pleased to see you all and be seen with you all today. But here's the question that's on my mind that keeps me tossing and turning at night. Okay, so I love murder birds, and that means I love owls, and owls have talons. And we all love bears, and bears have claws. But what do owl bears have? Do they have talons, or do they have claws? Well, you know what?
They have both.
They have both, depending on the bird type.
And you know what? That's what helps me fall asleep when this is bothering me, because you can have both too with talon and claw. Because talon and claw are affiliate, are fine producers and purveyors of dice vaults, trays, DM screens, and now candies. Candles. That says candles and not candies.
But maybe they should do candies.
Talon and Claw are not responsible for any promises I made about confections sold on their site. But if you do go to their site, one thing I can vouch for is that if you enter the code DND Jordan Lee, all caps, you will get 10% off your purchase of the finest things. Do not choose between talons. Do not choose for claws. Do not choose between owls or bears. Have the owl bears and have talon and claw.
Thank you, Finn, for that. And now Fairbear.
Hi, I'm Fair. And like my companions, I also have a question for you. When you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that you do? Is it get yourself a steaming hot cup of coffee? Or maybe start brewing some tea? Well, if you like coffee, great news. We are affiliates with Found Familiar. and you can get yourself a nice cup of coffee or a lovely blend of tea, and you can save 10% by putting in the code D&D Jordan Lee. Just yell it into the coupon code thing. It is in all caps, and you get 10% off your purchase. In addition to that, we are also affiliates with Friday Afternoon Tea. So if you want curious blends and fandom blends, guess what? You're also going to get good 10% off. Scream that code into the discount code box and you'll be all set. Thank you.
As someone who has drank a lot of Found Familiar coffee, it's so good.
It really is.
As someone
Friday
who's drank a
afternoon
lot
tea
of
is
the
amazing.
Friday afternoon tea, it is also very good. So
really is.
I will say the Found Familiar inspiration blend makes a hell of a cup of Turkish coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
And again, that discount code, all caps, just scream it into the void. D&D Jordan Lee for 10% off.
Amazing. Thank you,
Not go
Fairmare.
quietly into that discount code.
Babs.
Oh, hey, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Babs the Bat. And I am not an off-screen oracle anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to talk to you about some champions. And those champions, despite the name of... Where did Fair go?
Oh, she just shut the
Okay.
camera down. She's good. You're good.
No, I know. I didn't know if she was just done. But
Nope.
anyways...
She's gonna go get herself a nice cup of Friday
Yeah, she wants
afternoon
coffee.
tea.
Yeah.
Unlike the name of this thing, these champions are not idle. It is you who is idle. Because you can just put this on in the background and the game will do everything for you. So, as I'm sure you've noticed on our overlay, we do have an idle champions code for an Electrum chest, which, you know, those are top-notch chests. And you can type that in. Are we gonna have that also circulating in chat?
Yes, we are.
Perfect. Also, a new champion is coming.
Mm-hmm.
July 29th, so about a month from now. Nahara and her familiar, is it Saha? Is that how you say that? Or
I
Saja?
believe so. Mm-hmm. Saja.
From Black Dice Society are coming to Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Insert fanfare here.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much. And those are just some amazing things to check out. One thing of note is I am paying the cast. So anytime you use any of those promos codes, I'll be tracking them. And you're basically helping to fund the show as well. But there's another way you can do it as well. After today's show, we'll be opening up a Patreon. So that is another way that you can support us anywhere from $1 tier up to $15. And there's going to be a ton of stuff in there, from wallpapers to Q&As with some of our amazing, players, bring on some guests. We want to make sure that the cast gets paid. Our producer is getting paid for the incredible work that she is doing. We just want to do that. We want to make that known in this space. So any subs, I'm keeping track of everything coming in. All of that is going towards the cast, and I'll be paying them each month. So that is one thing that I want to see more of in this space, and that's what we're working towards. So again, thank you for your support. And if you can't gift a sub or anything like that, share the stream. We're always happy, and that goes a long way. But we're so happy to have you here. We will be doing reruns of the episodes on Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be available on YouTube on Thursdays at 10 a.m. Okay, hang on. Producer is doing an incredible job. Let me try this again. Let's see if it's working now. So that'll be available on let's see, Thursdays at 10 a.m., as well as there is going to be a podcast version of the episodes available on Wednesdays at noon on SoundCloud and Spotify. So stay tuned for all of that. I do want to make a quick note as well. The world is dark and scary right now. And now more so than ever is a time that we need to support some amazing people, not just now, but all year. So if you enter !Simon or !Sephi in chat, there are two incredible causes for two incredible people that are working hard to transition and move forward and take this journey. We want to be able to support those people. Yes, it's important to support those organizations that are out there, but it's even better if you can support those individual people. So we do have those links in chat to go and support them. I have met both of them in real life. They're very dear friends. They're absolutely incredible. Please, please, please consider supporting. And if you can't, again, share the link. It goes a long way. So I think we're through announcements. Are y'all ready to go? You ready? Okay.
No.
Yes.
No.
No, but I'm here
Are
anyway.
we just gonna
so-
hang out and have a great time?
Yeah,
Nothing
I
bad's
thought
gonna
that's what
happen to
I thought that's what
us.
this was. I thought we were just hanging out.
Sure.
I am, in fact, very prepared.
Yes!
Oh,
There we go.
Ah!
Okay. All right. So, and without further ado, let's go into the veil of Ampistrano. It's the year 619 AR, after rupture. It's said that the most beautiful of diamonds is created with the most pressure. Then Ampistrano is the diamond of the West. A landmass that was once the epicenter of a great battle between gods. In its wake, the land became bisected by large, towering, twisting mountains and strong, lively rivers that now create a beautiful landscape, the lifeblood and body of Ampistrano. Though much was lost, and indeed, much of the writings and discoveries disappeared into ash, the people endured, survived, and prospered, making this land anew, making it their own. Hope had been found again and again in the people. The soul of Ampistrano endured. To the north lies Thayren's Breach, a series of small towns connected by ice, wood, mountain, and sea. Many often take the path of the stars, seeing where fate leads them. The most well-known of these paths is the Path of Wisteria, a branch of frozen tundra that forms from the Castor Sea once every 7 years, that acts as a constellation from north to south. The people of the north are hardy, relying on myth, looking for legend, and connected to the veil. While more recluse, they will not shy away from inviting you to their hearth. To the east is home to the capital port city of Jorix. King Caius Maria has just celebrated his 42nd name day. His family has reigned over the continent for the last 100 years, bringing order and stability to the chaos left in Rupture's wake. Tensions have been mounting as Maria has sought to try to bring the North more under his banner, seeking to dispel myths, legends, and folklore in favor of facts and history. Writing has just begun to be more available, now open to all, not just the elite or devout. These encroaches have served warnings of war, but for the moment, they simmer. To the south, many nomadic communities move through deserts of sand. Not much is known, for not many venture through the wastelands that have been left behind in the rupture. Not many things grow, but the people still endure. To the west, the wildlands of the Genora wetlands, a vast, untamed jungle as mysterious as its inhabitants. Much of the wetlands has been unexplored as well, with many going missing. Travelers take heed before entering the shade found here. Its people prefer the isolation, combining nature with the arcane, as well as being the sites for many stories lost to time. Though closer to the capital, the commands of the king can't seem to find purchase here. At the center of it all, where our story begins, lies in the river town of Ilopan, where in this vast tapestry, the threads of fate have pulled together. Ilopan is the crossroads of art, music, knowledge, and magics. The natural, the spiritual, the archaic. It's also home to liberal arts colleges, merchant routes, trade ports. Things seem to find peace here. And it is on this sunny day, round mid-morning, 11 o'clock our time, that we begin our story. Within the city of Ilopan, there is a rustling of movement. We are 2 days out from the Harvest Festival, a big celebration as we celebrate the changing of the seasons and celebrate summer's long time pass and the beginnings of fall and the whispers of winter. The city is bustling with life, even more so spilling out of the walls. You actually see from this large standing hill just beyond the reach of the city, seems to be a miniature town that has exploded outwards from the walls as merchants and caravans have set up shop in preparation for this festival. The large walls being the anchor for all of this. Inside the city, you see that there are sections where arts and history make way. Large cathedrals reach into the sky, seem to reaching for the heavens and the gods above. Nearest to the rivers are the colleges, those liberal arts schools that I mentioned before. Here, many that perhaps don't want to be tied to doing magic in a certain right way find that they can explore, find that they can make this magic their own. And within one of the courtyards, underneath a tree that is largely shading the individual sleeping underneath it, is where we see our first of the cast. Finn, if you wouldn't mind please describing your character.
Well, I suppose if we find Caldrick's Derek sleeping beneath a tree, you will see a gem dragonborn dressed from the waist up very much like like an English professor. He is wearing his tweed vest, his green tie, but from the waist down is an olive green kilt that he wears. The dragonborn feet don't go well into pants, you know. And so there he is. For the most part, he appears to have shining, shimmery blue skin of a sapphire, but patches of his skin are mottled with bright greens of an emerald as well. And he is, if he's lying underneath the tree, then most likely what he's doing is he has taken his cloak, his walking cloak off and used it as a blanket over himself. Mm-hmm. And he is sitting reading probably 3 books at once. Couple next to him, one in his hand with what looks like a glass pen that he's scribbling with as he is reading to and taking notes in the third. And Caldrick sits and finds out just how much of these books can he compile today.
And around you, you hear the bustling as classes have just let out for the noon hour at this point, and are getting ready. Some people are running off to go to the local taverns to grab some food. Some are rushing off to classes. You do see a couple, of course, students that are perhaps being a little bit more mischievous, as well as hurried professors and administration moving about the college. But for now, you're in your little oasis. what thoughts are entering your brain as you were kind of sitting there?
Cal's thinking mostly about, as a wizard himself, recently from Scritori in the capital of Jorix, he's thinking about not only his magic, which is the magic of study, the magic of learning, the magic of if you do the right things and if you read the right words, you can figure out how to pluck at the veil. But currently he's trying to study magic that comes innate to others. Some who just seem to have a natural connection. Magic that can't quite be taught, that has to have, and he's trying to pull some parallel between his own magic and the magic that he sees much more freely in Ilopan than he saw in Jorix. Jorix has quite a lot of those preparing to join the Mages Guild or different mage organizations that are set up there. So there's much more magic is earned as opposed to here where natural connection to magic seems just as valid and is not looked down upon like it is where he came from before. So he's sitting there trying to make connections, and as he does, he makes one final note about a certain sorcerer tale that he's reading up on, and Drix, did you get that now? And from his book, a very tiny version of himself pops up. Looks exactly like Cal, but is more or less like a very green glowing hologram, and pops up from the book page. And Cal, how are you now? I'm good, and you? Not so bad. Fair enough. Good stuff. Did you hear the question, Drix? Oh, yeah, the one about the sorcerer. Right. Dragon's blood as a theory behind it. I don't buy it there, because there you sit and can't do a lick of a spell without a book in your hand, can you? All right, we didn't need the commentary today, Drix. I just wanted to make sure the notes got in. Oh, the notes are in, Cal. The notes are always in, and you're welcome, by the way. However, I'm not sure it cross-references the ones you've made about the druids last week. It doesn't seem to line up, so I think we're going to call that noted, unconfirmed. Thank you, Drix.
Amazing. Just as you are kind of maybe reorientating, closing the book, you kind of feel a presence entering the courtyard, more so behind you versus actually seeing it. It's that you hear the blades of grass underneath crunching underneath boots. Hello?
Pardon. Talking.
Yeah.
Talking to me, are you?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. And you see before you this little halfling student, probably a first year, looking a little bit lost in the moment. They've got long brown hair that's tied into a braid on the side. He's looking at you with an expression of confusion and also hope at the same time, as he is now kind of shuffling some papers quickly into his bag and approaching, looking very pretty neatly dressed, but you can see he's just very nervous. Are you Caldrick?
That'd be me.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness. This place is so confusing. I was told to come and get you for, what's his name? The head professor, Arcanist, and you just see looking completely lost and just kind of looking at you for help.
Do I know the full? Does Cal know the full name of this?
You do. It's Arcanist Paddyweather, who's the main teacher for the school. Is just
That's when Caldrick goes. He said Paddyweather.
Paddyweather.
Paddyweather. That's what Caldrick. Pettyweather. Oh, of course. Yes. And he throws
Yes.
his
Yeah.
cloak
Oh.
over his shoulder, and he's like very hurriedly trying to pin the brooch on his shoulder and gathering his books. Right. The fellowship, the interview, that's today. Okay. Thank you. And you are?
Oh, my name is Sam. It's great to meet you. Are you a professor here or?
Fingers crossed, Sam. All the claws and all the toes crossed, Sam.
Okay.
But Sam, I do this for me. Could you
Okay.
tell the professor you found me in the library and not under a tree?
Sure.
I'm trying to make a good impression. I hear that he would appreciate that these books have. You see, these books are they're about to walk right back in the door. They're about to walk right back into the door of the library, I promise. And in fact, if you could walk with me, we will drop these at the library and head straight to Professor Pettyweather's office.
Sure. Well, you were doing reading here, right?
I was, yes.
Well, then this is your library.
I think I'm gonna like you, Sam. I think I'm gonna like you quite a bit.
Okay. He just kind of like ushers for you to follow and leads you through the large group of students through the hallways. It takes several minutes. It's a very large college. It's one of the larger colleges that are in Ilopan itself. But after several minutes, you find yourself in front of a large wooden door. You can see that there are a number of archaic sigils kind of written around the door. And Sam kind of for a moment is like, oh, shit. And he reaches into his bag and you see he pulls out what looks to be a large orange and red colored leaf. And he holds it up to the door. And the door goes, whoa. And it opens. Inside, you see a large office full of books. It's an absolute mess. Think Merlin from Sword in the Stone. Just stuff is thrown everywhere haphazardly. And in the back, kind of in the corner, looks to be looking at a couple of plants that are in some pots. You hear a little bit of murmuring. Is a dragonborn named Pettyweather. In large robes, it's just kind of, yes, oh, okay, well, that's why she sits in the shade, like having this very clear conversation with these plants as you come into the door.
I did not want to interrupt anything you were doing there, but I forgot to mention in gathering his things, he did pick up his walking stick.
Okay.
One thing that Cal does carry with him. He's got his bag of books at his side, but also his walking stick. So he kind of looks for a place next to the door to set down the walking stick as he walks in, not trying to be rude, walking around someone else's study, banging books off shelves and such. So he lets the walking stick down and starts pulling out his spell book, and he just kind of holds it kind of close, like ready for when the professor asks. But he pulls out his spell book and there'd be Professor Pettyweather, sir?
Aren't you just, oh, hello. And she quickly turns around and just kind of, okay, yes, my name is Pettyweather. Yes, Sam, thank you so much. Good. The parchment's on the table to give you access to the library, of course, for running this and for me. Thank you. We were having a hard time locating you, Mr. Caldrick. We couldn't find you in the libraries or anything like that, so we were having a hard time.
That so sorry. You see, I like to take the books on walkabout when I can. I hope.
And at that moment, Sam pipes up, he was in a library, I promise you. Right. Okay. Well, I'll see you later, Sam. And
Sam hears in his head, son, you get a nice warm bowl of soup or whatever dinner you choose later on. So I hear me and hold me to it.
Sam literally just goes, shit, what? Oh.
Sam, it's
Oh.
Cal. It's Cal. It's Cal. I owe you dinner. I owe you
Okay.
dinner, Sam.
Okay. School's weird, man. And he just kind of saunters out of the room, leaving you with Arcanist Pettyweather.
And how does Arcanist prefer to be addressed? Is there a title that Cal would know? Is there are there pronouns that Cal would previously be aware of for Pettyweather?
You've kind of had this exchange with Pettyweather for the last couple of weeks, so you know that at least in signage she's been signing as Professor P. So just to keep it short, so that is something that she has been doing. So at this point, going based upon letters, you know, you could probably call her that and it would be fine.
Right. Professor, I'd come from Jorix. The position of fellowship I was asking about. Just nothing too serious, nothing too imposing upon the Institute, you see. But my idea of the traveling school, did you have a chance to look over my proposal?
I did at some length. And you see her kind of rummaging about. Eventually she settles behind her desk, pulls out a scroll with you can see it's very weathered, not only by your hand but by hers, and looking it over. It does look very feasible. We're gonna probably need to get some kind of study group into place first to see.
Of course, you know, I'm not one to ask for dinner without paying my dues. And so when it comes to any sort of funding and resources, or even pulling together correspondence on the issue, I understand that it might take some time in office,
Sure.
and I'm willing to do that. Willing to teach what I can until we can launch a program. But of course, any help you have for me, and just the ability to stay near the word and keep compiling my notes, you see.
For sure. It is a big undertaking, not that I'm not doubting your abilities, Caldrick, but do you by chance have somebody else that you can, you know, perhaps be a TA? Do I need to get a graduate student involved on this?
Oh, an assistant would be, well, it'd be fair, it'd be nice. However, as far as
if you don't mind me interjecting, it would have to be someone that perhaps isn't so into the notes, but would be able to, especially since you're all about knowledge and information, being able to transform that knowledge and get it out quickly. So
I see, of course. Yes. You know, that's what good's knowledge that you can't share, right? However, the notes I'm happy to hear, because the notes I actually prefer to take myself, not to turn down a fair offer. However, you see, leaving the capital left me without a fair network. It would seem that I let a few down with my decision to not become a mage myself, and so it would appear that any previous partnerships are dissolved from Jorix, and so I would be leaning heavily on your own connections here, Professor, if you would be so kind.
Well, most of our graduate students are, of course, taking the next couple days off with the festival that's happening. And you see she kind of gets an interesting twinkle in her eye for a moment. I'm sure the try and truest method would actually to be try this with someone that's outside of the college. See how quickly they adapt. Since this is a nomadic school that you are proposing. So, tell me, Cal. I can call you that, right?
Oh, please do call me Cal.
Okay, perfect.
Those that try the full name tend to be here all day.
Perfect. How often do you explore the world beyond your books?
Well, every chance I get, Professor. I can't figure out which one I'd like to be more, my feet on the road or my nose in the page. The problem is when you're walking, you can't carry too many books with you. And when you're reading, you can't walk. So you see the dilemma. That's actually why I even have Drix. Drix is able to keep most of my notes well at hand wherever I am. Could you say hello, Drix? And he sets his would he have introduced the professor to Drix already?
Yeah, you in your correspondence, that would have been one of the things of like, hey, this is why I know I can do this, and
Right.
and putting that as part of your thesis for sure.
Could you say hello, Drix? And his spell book has a small sapphire, polished sapphire in the middle of the cover, and as he sets it on the table, the sapphire glows, and Drix stands above the sapphire and, oh, Cal, how are you now? Drix, this is the person. Cal, how are you now?
Amazing.
Good, and you? Oh, not so bad. Fair enough. Good stuff. Now, what were we doing? And this would be Professor Pettyworth. Drix, we'd spoken of before. I was just informing the professor that you would be of a great help to establishing a traveling library, a traveling school. Oh, I can keep everything as long as he totes me around. No legs myself, you see.
Cow. I appreciate it. And it's, of course, a pleasure to meet you. And she kind of nods her horned head down to your book. I'm hearing a lot of, I can do this. Me. One of the things that we do here is we're constantly learning from other beings. And at the moment, she, you see that she has this large amethyst on her knuckle. She's not a gem dragon, but she does have a glove that has this amethyst stone encrusted onto it. And she taps it twice, and against the wall, a view of the courtyard where you were reading pops up. And you see again those images of people passing by. A few even actually like say like, hey, but you're so into your books that you don't notice or pick up on it. I think that what you have on paper looks good. But a library is not going to function with just one. You need to work with other folks. And so I give you this. I'm not rejecting your proposal. I'm saying that it is incomplete at this time. And I would implore you, go out there. Meet some folks. Perhaps they can help you approach this from a different angle.
Right. Of course. And so just go out and meet people.
There's a festival happening in 2 days' time.
So is there a particular professor that I should speak to about?
No. Outside of the school.
So not a particular person, just a person.
Mm-hmm.
Just any, and just start talking to people. Just start talking to them.
Expanding your world beyond just the books that you read.
Oh, right. Okay. So just walk. The assignment, as I understand it, is to find a person and talk. Just talk to them and see.
Maybe perhaps the right person for you, not just a person. I'm not expecting, and I would hope that you're not just going to talk to someone that is just outside of the school.
Oh, no. They're probably all very equally kind and fair in their disposition enough. But to be clear, there's not a particular person that I'm supposed to be talking to, but I do need to find the right one.
The right one for you.
Oh.
You know how you have these interactions with folks that you may connect with and you may not.
Right.
You've convinced me that this school that you're doing, this library that you're doing, there's a need for it.
Oh, aye, yes.
The test is to see if others will see it too.
Oh.
So,
So find others that would want to see more books to more people.
mhm,
I see.
and we'll help push you on this journey.
All right. Okay. So fair enough. I can do that. I can do that. That I can do.
There's not a
1,000.
deadline. There's not a deadline for it. But the other thing, I want you to explore a bit more. Besides just you have been on this campus every day for the last couple of weeks. How much can you say that you actually know the city of Ilopan?
Well, the city's quite a few buildings, you see, and so it's hard to see everything in it until you actually like walk into the narrow hallways that lots of them have, and so it's better outside normally. I understand. I'm hearing what I'm saying as I'm saying it. And I understand. Thank you,
Mhm.
Thank you, Professor. I know where we're going. Thank you.
Good. We'll check back. You can have my correspondence as usual, but again, it's not a no. I just need some more evidentiary support for your argument.
Of course. We will return with new friends in tow. And that's Drix is still projected above the book, and he looks back at Cal and he looks back at the professor and like, thank you. He never listens to me when I say it. And then sinks back into the book.
Perfect. All right. And as you step outwards from Heavyweather's office, we shift and now join the bustling streets. Ilopan, as people are quickly moving about their days, halfway done, but still having food to sell. Just outside the wall, though, we see another figure, perhaps peering a little curiously. April, if you wouldn't mind telling us your character and what she is doing.
That's me. You will see a female figure. How tall are these walls?
They're very tall.
They're very tall. Okay.
Yeah,
Just
they're
wondering.
hundreds of feet in the air. Yeah, they're pretty tall.
And she is about to enter the town and is looking very excited. But you probably need to know what she looks like. She is about 6 foot, a little bit under 6 foot tall, looks to be in her early young 20s, dressed in reds, browns, gold, and flowy layers and arm wraps. But the most impressive thing about her are these giant sets of wings that are almost bigger than her, in reds and purples. Her wings spread out and have these black and brown patterns on the sides. As she's getting excited, her wings are fluttering a little bit more as she turns to Theodora. So this is the festival.
Oh, well,
Theodora, can you please describe what you look like? Fair.
You're coming with me.
April done messed up everyone's plans. No,
I saw the comment in the chat. It was okay.
I missed the comment in the chat. Oh, my comment.
Oh no, that was just to me. I was supposed to. Never mind. You don't have to be with me. Sorry.
It's up to you.
Is Theodora, are you with me?
I have no idea what's happening, but I'm okay with being with you if you want a friend.
Love it.
Yes, you're with me. We're traveling companions. We're best friends.
Yes, well, my name is Theodora. I am about 5'6", deep dark skin, dreadlocks with an undercut. I gave up on the accent so quick, but whatever. I was taken off guard, so I'm just like, let's go with it. Theodora wears just standard chainmail. It looks kind of worn. Parts of it might even be rusted. It's almost like a practice chainmail for a squire. Giant greatsword on her back, and then crossed with a giant mace also on her back. She is beefy and strong because that's how I like my characters to be. And she is also looking up at these walls with her gold-rimmed eyes. Very curious, a little intimidated. Also, there are a lot of smells that she wasn't expecting coming out of the city. Theodora comes from a nomadic culture, and this is like one of the few times she's ventured into quote-unquote civilization. And so, yeah, she's doesn't share Oria's enthusiasm as much, but she is eager to go inside. It's like, I suppose this is the festival. I've never been to a festival before. I don't really know.
Well, all the stories I've heard, festivals have food and drinking and parties and people being very excited. This is Ilopan, correct? As Oria's like looking around trying to figure out.
And you literally see a sign just off the road that says Ilopan. Like,
Theodora looks at the sign and the letters just swim in her vision. She cannot read.
oh,
Yes, that sign right there. It says, yep, we're in the right place. So we just,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Is that's what it says?
yes,
You sure?
yes, ILLIPIN? I don't know how I spell that. Is that how it's spelled, Jordan? I just realized
sure.
I didn't spell it right in my notes.
All I see is
ILOPAN.
All I see is a squiggly line, some kind of weird divot, and then more squiggles.
Oh, well, we can work on that. As then Oria pulls out a notebook. Ilopan has it says the Harvest Festival happens soon and gives the date. And this is a place with lots of schools and good learning. So we could probably find if you want to learn. If you don't want to learn, we could just go party.
It's never really occurred to me to learn how to read. My people are oral culture, so I don't really know. Is it valuable? Do I need to know that?
I don't think it's that valuable. I mean, it depends who you're with. We're together and I could read it. As long as we're together, we'll be fine.
Okay, that works for me.
Yes. And then I don't really know how, but I'm assuming
Sure.
that there's like little stands along the
Yep,
way.
there's a bunch of caravans where you are actually, and at this moment, Theodora, as you're kind of like, oh, well, do I need to know to read? You actually feel a push behind you. And you kind of look around for a moment and then have to look down, is a sheep that has kind of just wandered onto the path. Because this is literally caravan and then farmland. This is completely different world outside of the city itself. So it just kind of looks up at you for a moment and goes, "Meh."
Oh, I didn't realize you get dinner when you come into the city for the first time.
I don't think we could eat that one. But Ori's gonna look around. Oh, and like run over to a vendor and like buy some street meat and run it over to Theodora. I found this.
Theodora's like, I also found street meat.
You see that the owner was literally just like handing you and where'd she? What's that? Like you just move so quickly, like back and forth, unable to catch, and you have a large, it looks like a very large chicken leg in your hand has just been grabbed. And it actually has like normally how on a dinner plate, you would have chicken and then peas and all that. It's actually on top. So it almost looks like a little mini hill. All of the food, as you notice, is kind of themed to the harvest and the land. So you see actually like a lot of these caravans have taken that time to kind of pay homage. So it looks almost like a hill.
I give it to Theodora, mouth already full. They have themed food too.
Because like this is maybe the first thing that she's familiar with coming here is a haunch of meat. So she just tears into it. Grease all over her fucking face. She doesn't care. But still eyeing this sheep like later. That is dinner for later.
All right. So, Oria and Theodora, what are you doing? Are you going to enter the city? Are you staying on the outskirts? Or is the forest calling you? What are you doing?
I feel like we just got here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were traveling to this place.
Yep. You have yet to actually set foot into the city, but
we're literally just hanging outside.
Yeah.
We're outside the club deciding if we want to pay the fee to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do see at the very entrance to the city, there's a large gate, and you do see several Crowns Guard. Or, as people are coming in, they're very friendly, but they are checking, like, if there's a particular merchant that needs to come into the city or things like that, checking weapons just to kind of make note of who has what as they're kind of entering into the city. Just because it's a festival, it's a little bit more prone to thievery. But otherwise, like, it's a very jovial kind of feel to it.
Should we head inside and try to find a place to stay, or?
Oh, you have to stay here?
I mean, we don't have to. I just thought it would be nice to stay, like, in the city, like, near the party. We don't have to, though. We can.
I mean, well, let's see what it has to offer. But Theodora, like, longingly looks at the forest, like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to. She does say in her head, she's like, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to stand these smells if I can't get used to them. But then she will head inside. She's nothing if not adventurous. So smells aside.
Very odd couple vibes.
Loving it. The Crowns Guard quickly wave you both through, and you're able to make your way in. You do see, and it's kind of actually, why don't each of you make a perception check for me?
Oh my god.
First roll campaign.
Ooh. Perception. 23.
17.
So, both of you are immediately hit with, whoa, everything is super confined in this city. Very tightly packed, as well as now you have people moving in and out. But each of you are able to pick out immediately that there is a tea shop not too far from the entrance. It's in a brick building. With outside, there's a sign with a tea kettle, and the sign says the tea leaves, and it's spelled Leaves. Just chilling out over there. Most people are moving around. It's Theodora, for you, it's a little bit of overwhelming just because you're getting a lot of smells all at once.
A lot of smells, a lot of sounds, a lot of people suddenly pressed up against me without it being like, I'm sleeping with my siblings and we're all just like kind of dogpiled on top of each other. It's just, it's a lot. It is a lot all at once.
For sure.
I think at one point somebody bumps into Theodora and I like just growl at them.
Oh, whoa, I'm so sorry. And you quickly see this gnome kind of rushing off and kind of gives you a look of, not of like sneering, but just like genuine fear and like, are you okay? Like that kind of look.
You good?
You good? And kind of maneuvers through the streets.
Seeing that, I'm gonna realizing Theodora does not like to be inside. I'm gonna use a little. I'm gonna flutter my wings a little bit and druid craft a nice breeze that smells like the forest. So for Theodora to help calm her. Immediately
calm. I'm not even gonna roll. Like it works, and I think Oria has probably in traveling together has learned that is like the thing that will calm Theodora down instantly. But
Amazing.
Also just fluttering your wings into people's face.
Helping get us some
Theodora,
more room too.
with that roll that you did too, you also hear from one of the alleys, not too far from that tea shop, there seems to be a bit of noise that's kind of happening. And you do see two kind of, it's very quick, but you do see two kind of angry looking figures pulling a slightly smaller figure into the alley.
I head in that direction immediately and don't say anything. I just like hard pivot down this alley, drawing, I guess, my great sword, just because it seems like there's a fight. And if there's one thing I love, it's a good fucking fight.
For sure.
Oria's like, oh, look at the tea.
So you head towards the alleyway. You have just seen two male minotaurs pulling a much smaller creature in. Sin, if you wouldn't mind introducing your character.
So, what they look like, you see a character in kind of like a combination of a scarf and a hood. There is a kind of a crimson hood with a scarf wrapped around. There is a tuft of hair that peeks out from under the hood in the front, and a bit of a ponytail that hangs down in the back. And they're wearing like a white mask with a couple of red markings on it. Behind the mask in the eye spots, you see a pair of glowing blue eyes. They're wearing a cape. The cape is black. The armor that they have just looks like, it looks metal-ish with a couple of dents in it, but it's not clear what kind of metal it is. They're a pair of like plain black pants and some boots, and they have like around their waist a number of like a belt with a number of different like scrolls and other things that look like tools hanging from them. What you notice the most about them is like most of the parts of their body are covered. They have long sleeves. They're wearing gloves, and all of those things. And they just have kind of a satchel that they're wearing as well.
All right. And you're being kind of held at the scruff by these two very large minotaurs that are just looking kind of menacingly at you. What are you doing? And they're talking directly towards you, Sen, Blackstone.
What was I doing?
So these two minotaurs had been looking like they were perhaps going to be stealing something from one of the caravans, and you got a little bit too close. And they noticed your presence, and so that's kind of where we're at.
I see. Oh, in that case, well, what am I doing? Well, watching you, I suppose.
What for?
Curiosity. I was wondering what you were doing. What were you doing?
We're the ones asking the questions, and he like kind of punches the smaller one. Listen, this is your warning. This is our turf, right? Right? So you stay off of it. And be careful, because we do have the Crown's Guard in our back pocket. So,
Hold on for a moment. I like what you see is like Blackstone looking, just like kind of like starting to like walk around them to see if like he can get far enough to see what's in their back pocket. I did not. That is a strange type of magic that you have if you're able to make people pocket sized.
That's not what I. Oh, this fucker! And they quickly kind of push you, not too gently, up against the wall. Listen, this will be your final warning. And at this point, Theodora and Oria, you are in the vicinity. You are probably about 10, 15 feet away.
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't hear me because my chainmail is just jangling.
They are too focused, because believe me, I just rolled. They are too focused in on the fact that this person was just taking them out while they're trying to do a job.
Momentary threat assessment. How like serious do these people seem at this moment?
That's pretty
Like-
serious.
Like basically, I'm trying to like where I'm at mentally is. Do I fight them? Is that a thing I should do?
It's up to you. What do you think that Blackstone would do in this moment?
Please unhand me.
Fine. For now, that's a warning because you're not worth it. But next time you won't be so lucky. And the larger of the two kind of unhands you and, come on, Bryn, let's go. And pushes the smaller one. They kind of start to go past Theodora and Oria as you are making your way through the alleyway, and they're like, all right.
Trying to decide if Theodora's smart enough to not swing her sword at this point.
I don't shorten, like, my wings are taking up a lot of this alley, and I don't make it easy for them. It's like, oh, sorry.
Watch it!
I also don't make it, I like don't move. I just stand there.
Threat assessment, level 2. And there was a part that they punched something, and I'm guessing it either splintered or it broke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a moment to fix it.
Okay.
Aww.
All right. You do see it's actually kind of just a strange item that to be found. It's a figure made of sticks and bits of twine and thread that have been kind of woven together. It's a doll. A little doll that just, when that happened, the neck of the doll kind of. So as you are mending it, what does it look like as you are mending it together?
So I take out like a little blade and I start making small like etchings around the circumference of where the doll is. They glow for a second and disappear while the doll reassembles itself into the last shape of it that I remember.
All right. And you do. You're able to bring this doll together.
Everything okay over here?
Oh, yes, I just finished repairing things.
That was really cool.
Oh, well, thank you.
Hi. Hello. My name's Oria. This is my friend Theodora.
Oh, well, nice to meet you. They call me, Blackstone.
It's wonderful to meet you. But they're your friends?
No, I think they did things that were very much not what a friend would do. They broke things. I think they said something about turf, and perhaps they were, I don't know. They seem to have a great deal of concern about being observed.
That's weird. That's weird, right, Oria? That's weird.
Usually, if people get angry that you see them, they're usually up to no good.
Hey DM, could I like have, as those minotaurs are walking by, can I like take it like a deep smell so I can remember them later?
Sure. Why don't you roll? Because we'll make it a roll off. Because there's a lot of smells and things happening in the city.
Okay.
So why don't you? I'll make this a perception one because you were specifically focusing in on that scent.
Okay. That's gonna be 17.
Yep. You pretty sure.
Yeah,
You have
just
it
in case I come across them later and they want to pick up somebody their own size.
Sure.
They also said that they had people in their back pocket. I still don't know how that magic works.
Oh, that's not usually magic. That just means that they pay someone and that person does what they want. Typically. Unless they do have, this is a magic school, I guess. I guess they do have magic. I mean, you can get smaller or bigger,
Okay, so
but they're
if I
probably
pay,
criminals.
so if I give money to someone and they do something that I want them to do, that's the same as having them in my back pocket.
Theodora's wondering the same thing.
I mean, I think it's typically crime. I don't really know a lot about. We might need to find a better criminal with
Maybe
answers.
this.
Or there are schools. We could go to the schools. There's schools here that would. Do they teach crime? I don't think they teach crime.
Ah,
How to get away
crime.
with murder.
Yeah. I've
Oh,
that's the one thing I heard
crime.
about. That's the one thing I heard about the city is that they do teach classes on how you can you kill somebody and get away. Is that true?
We'd have to go to the schools.
You don't know, but
Well,
probably
I mean,
not.
She's gonna flip through her notebook that's like a handwritten Theodora, you know
Well-
this is like a handwritten travel guide. I'm like, I don't see anything about crime
You
school.
you do have a note in your kind of overall notes itself, just mentioning that probably the closest thing to that would be the training of the Crown's Guard and stuff like that. Mainly like security stuff, not necessarily in depth like mercenary work. So
Yes,
well,
they
I
teach
cannot
crime
think
at
of
the-
I cannot think of a place that teaches crime, but I am aware that there are a number of people who do it. That's something I got in trouble for once.
You did a crime?
Are you a criminal?
Well, no. They told me it was a bad idea and that people would be angry at me for doing it. So I stopped.
What?
So
were you
you're
going-
almost you did an almost crime.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know it was a crime at the time either. It's kind of hard to explain. I just have how was it phrased? A very natural talent in a certain set of skills.
That sounds very interesting. Well, did you?
Oh, where were you going?
Oh, I saw a tea shop, and typically tea shops are much calmer than the streets, so I thought maybe we'd go to the tea shop. You're welcome to join us. Oh, is that okay, Theodora? As she leans over to Theodora.
Oh, I don't care. What is tea? Is it good?
Yes, it's like a bunch
well-
of things in a cup, and it's warm, and you drink it, or cold, and you drink it.
A bunch of things in a
Lots
cup
of leaves, fancy leaves.
Tea,
You'll like
right.
it.
So,
leaves in
the definition
water.
is they have a number of different things, some of which are sweet and some of which have other flavors that they put into warm water that are also drinkable. Normally, people enjoy them.
That's
People
practically-
drink leaf water in the city.
Actually, in several cities.
I think it's quite common, actually. I think, isn't most drinks
Oh.
made of some type of leaf and water? Like even alcohol has some plant water in it.
Well, why don't we see what kind of leaves they have?
Let's go find out.
Okay.
all right, and you head on over towards the tea leaves. You see it's a very quaint shop. It has, while outwardly a very like, hey, it's a tea shop, as soon as you enter, all of you feel much calmer. It's a lot quieter. It's almost like magic is here to kind of help, if you're at one of those cons and you need to desensitize a little bit and have that moment AFK room. It's very much that. There's smells of different teas and incense burning. The whole shop is a plethora of blues and purples, almost matching the decor. You see in the back corner by a looking glass that is showing the coastline somewhere far away from here. You see another figure. The shop otherwise is relatively empty, but Babs, would you mind introducing us to your character, please?
Of course. So you see this tall, very light blue-skinned figure with even lighter blue hair, long hair. And with their back to you, you can see they're wearing a navy blue-ish jacket vest type thing. It's a very long vest. And tallish boots. One might assume straight out the gate that, at least from the back, looks like might be a little piratey. Maybe not. The clothes are very nice. They're not as ragged as a pirate would wear. And you, leaning up against the wall next to them, is a large quarterstaff with a blue gem type orb up top. And you, for a moment, it looks like their hair on one side, the left side, is just moving a little bit.
Kind of just chilling in the corner. Seraph, you've noticed this otherwise quiet shop now has a bunch of new, vibrant customers in here. Do you say anything? There's only a couple of tables. It's a smaller shop. So Seraph is at one. There's about 3 or 4 others that are kind of around the room. You do see that there is a tiefling moving around the shop as well. Having some fun. I had to do one for Finn. So there is a purple tiefling moving around the shop that has a very kind of hello. Thank you so much for coming to the Tea Leaves. Welcome. Oh, and you see you're kind of picking above your head, Blackstone. Oh, you were just in a tussle now, weren't you? Oh, okay. Okay, you're good now.
Well, only a minor one at best. There is a lot of things about turf and strange terms that I did not understand, but they seemed somewhat hostile, I suppose.
Yeah, there are a few of those people here that seem to make everything their property. But we are calm here, so come on in. You know what? You look like... Did you all just meet each other today? Or are you longtime friends just seeing each other? Or... Oh, where are my manners? Oh, by the way, I am Mary. Mary, nice to meet you. I'm the owner of this establishment. Absolute pleasure to have you. Consider this a safe space. I've asked too many questions. You see, like, all of a sudden she starts kind of backing up, and you see now in this kind of dim light, she is a purple tiefling with, again, that kind of blue robes. She's got a flower, kind of, and it's sitting in a pocket, and you actually see the flower look up at her. It looks like it has, like, a little face underneath where, like, the sunflower would be. And it kind of looks up, and the leaves are its little hands kind of hanging on in the pocket as she's kind of moving. I'll... What tea would you like?
Well, what tea do you have?
Well, we have a plethora of different flavors. I have a jasmine. I have a lavender with some honey, which would be really probably good for you right now. I'm picking up a lot of things. But yeah, really, it's your choice. And you see she hands you a large menu with a bunch of teas: green teas, black, gray. Seraph, what are you doing in this time as they are deciding upon teas.
Sareth will finish looking through the looking glass and will grab their staff and scoop up a couple of packages that they have with them and will make their way over to the counter. As if any of you notice Sareth coming over, you notice that they're very androgynous in the face. They have long pointed ears. Essentially look like they could be an elf, but the blue skin and blue hair isn't quite along those lines, but it's not really the same as like a sea elf or anything like that. And you notice that they have gold freckles on their face and a couple of gold like spots on their arms and on their chest. And Sareth will walk over and will just wait patiently to see if anyone is going to order. And when there's a free moment, Sareth is gonna, Mary.
Yes. Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry, Star. What can I help you with?
Oh no, it's all right. I was just hoping to possibly get a refill before I had to leave.
Of course. Can you remind me what you were drinking?
Oh yes, it was
was it the midnight tea?
The what?
The midnight? I can't remember if that's your.
It was either that or it was kind of spearminty today.
Ah, got it.
Yes.
All right, I'll go get it.
Wonderful.
Please.
Also, would it be possible to get a little nom for Sebastian?
Of course, of course. All right. I'll leave you to it. Get our guests acclimated, just because this is your safe space. And she will kind of nod her head and disappear back behind this large wooden oak counter that actually looks like a forest has been carved into the counter itself. But she disappears into the back.
The lavender and honey flavor looks new. Maybe I'll try this one.
Oh, the lavender honey is excellent. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, well, not at all. I appreciate the suggestion. My name is Blackstone.
Oh, hello, Blackstone. I'm Sareth.
Hello, Sarah.
So, and then the hair
these,
moves a little bit
these
more.
were the companions that, well, I suppose they met me at a somewhat inopportune time.
Well, that
But they were-
sometimes that is how we make the best of friends.
But they were both very friendly.
They look very friendly. Hello, I'm Sareth.
You'll see that's when Oria head pops up. Oh, so sorry. There's a lot on this menu. Hi, hello, I'm Oria.
Oh yes, the menu is quite large. But everything, as far as I've had, is quite delectable.
Theodora is fidgeting a lot, adjusting her armor, and it's clearly uncomfortable for her to wear because she's just not used to wearing it, and also simultaneously doing that, but also doing that kind of similar to what dogs do, where they're trying to get comfortable. She sits down in a chair and then gets up and kind of circles and then sits back down to see if it's better. Also adjusting her armor.
I have a question for your character. Does it look like they're having a problem with reading the menu?
Oh, she's not at this point. She's not even trying to read it. It's on the table. Mary handed it to her. She immediately just put it down.
Outside of this, I think Oria is reading anything that Doria would have mentioned before, flavors. Oh, this one has fruits in it. It had, and like kind of going through the description a little
You
bit.
do
with
know
them.
there's a specific orange blend that you have given Theodora in passing. You've been able to grind up,
Okay.
since you are very aware. You've been able to kind of pull those ingredients together to have at least some tea for yourself out in the wilds of Ampistrano. It's not as strong or accumulated as what you're getting here at the shop, but it's still that essence of it, you know. So you know that she at least liked the scent, so that could be very telling.
Yeah. I think Blackstone would have also, like, when Theodora was handed the menu, she would have looked at it briefly and then set it down. Like, I can't read this.
It's a few more moments, and then Mary kind of comes bustling out of the kitchen. You see, kind of following behind her, are a number of much larger flowers that are actually bringing the different cups of tea out. So to Sereth, you see this particular petunia comes over and brings you a refill of your peppermint with a little hint of chocolate as well. You see as well there are a number of biscuits and little things for Sebastian to nom on as well. All right, so we're set there. That's right. What did... She looks at the three of you, and you kind of see she does like the little dance of like, what would you want?
I will take the lavender and honey. I heard it is really good. And a small piece of bread.
Okay.
Wait. Cheese, if you have cheese.
Do you want the charcuterie board? Is that what you're asking for?
No,
Just cheese.
just cheese.
Sure. Okay. Can definitely do that.
When there's a long pause here. That is when you bring the tea, can I please also have a small saucer?
Sure. Of course. How about you? And she looks over at you, Oria.
Oh, there's this peach one. That sounds good. And actually, I would like the charcuterie board. And she's gonna lead a deodorant. It has meat and cheeses and breads and crackers and fruits usually.
I'll take one as well. And
that orange one that you said smelled good before.
yeah, the orange blossom.
That would be it, yes.
Okay, yeah. I quickly hand her the menu back. Like, don't give this to me. Like, I don't say it, but the way I give it to her is like, don't give this to me again, please.
And at this point, she again disappears into the back. You see the kind of small crowd of flowers that have come out have now settled. In fact, all of you now see that this house, or shop rather, is laden with flowers. There are pots everywhere, and every so often one is kind of swinging in the wind or something that moves, and you just hear as all these little flowers are kind of moving in the pots themselves, just kind of watching everything happen. But for now, the four of you are alone.
And as the flowers settle, I imagine that a couple of them settle right around Sereth to hand off the refill and present the snacks. Sereth will kind of tilt their head and Bashi, if you're hungry, Mary has brought you some gnomes. And out from under Sereth's hair, where no one could see, you see the reason why the hair was moving. This cute little stoat, this little brown and white stoat, peeks their head out from under Sereth's hair and kind of looks around and kind of crawls down Sereth's arm and hops onto one of the plates and just sits up. And for a moment you think that it might actually be deciding which one it wants. Instead of just being like food and going for whatever is closest.
Yep, so you see this now beautiful, adorable little stout with a tail like a shooting star.
There is a very faint ethereal golden glow coming off the very tip of its tail.
Mm-hmm. And it's sitting there. And with that, I think it's a great time to take a 10-minute break.
Yeah, a break where, like, as Theodora is leaning close to the stoat, like, what?
We are going to take a 10-minute break, y'all. This has been so much fun. I'm so excited to see what happens next. Get up, stretch, move about, and we will be back in just a few moments. stretched. I do want to do a quick shout out because I forgot to do this at the start. But if you're enjoying the music that's playing, we do have a little promo that is circulating every so often. But you are hearing a mix of Critical Role, as well as Will Savino, Michael Ghelfi, as well as Alexander Nakarada. All of them have, Critical Role, have Patreons that you can go and support. They have a ton of music. This is just a sampling of what you're hearing. So I highly recommend checking out their stuff. You can back it on Patreon. It's also on Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, a lot of the stuff as well. So thank you so much. And you're going to meet our other musician next week. Trace Noir did our opening song. So I just want to do a quick shout out. And I hope everyone's enjoying the show so far. But we are going to dive back into the Vale of Ampistrano. So, Sebastian has now leaned forward onto the plate and is looking at a number of biscuits that are kind of sitting there in sizable chunks. It's like, if he holds it with two hands, he's got a pretty big sandwich or something like that to hold. You do hear noise in the background as Mary is kind of moving about. And we had ended as Theodora had leaned forward to take a closer look at Sebastian.
I just stare at him almost like a predator. Just apex per just staring at this stone, watching its movements.
Oria just holds her breath watching this, going, oh shit, this is either gonna go real good or real bad.
Sebastian will kind of not scurry, but do that little like full body like walk hop thing that they do because they're so long. And he will be sniffing around the couple of different options that Mary has brought for him. And you can tell that this is something that they probably do often because there are, again, options for the stout on a plate. And Sebastian is like checking each one out and literally deciding which one he wants. And Sareth will just keep an eye on him, and occasionally you'll hear a, oh yes, that one looks quite delicious today. Mary is on the ball today. But it's your choice, Spash. It's your choice. It's whichever one you want.
You hear this little clicking noise as it kind of looks up at you. And quickly, like, starts just annihilating this little bit of biscuit.
Yes, you're a good boy, and you deserve the nom. You always deserve a nom.
And all the while, though, is like, just looking up at Theodora with, like, deer in the headlight eyes.
And as Sebastian clocks Theodora, Sareth will also look over. And, do you want to meet him?
In her head, Theodora's like, people just let their food just run around like this?
You have a lovely friend there. And looks at Theodora.
Yes, I will meet your little snack.
Friend.
He is the cutest little snack. Yes, but right now is his snack time. But this is Sebastian. He is my familiar.
What is that?
He's my
like a pet?
Yes, essentially.
Often they're a psychically linked animal companion.
More like a companion, yes. He is my friend. He is my helper. He is My family.
So you're not fattening him up to eat him?
Oh, no. No.
Kind of quickly looks.
Honestly, I don't-
Theodora and Sarah just looking very concerned.
Honestly, I don't know if I could. Not that I'm going to, Bash. You don't have to worry. But interesting. Yeah, I don't think I could.
Do you just not, have you just never eaten a weasel before? I can show you.
Oh, no, he's not a weasel. He's actually a stoat.
One of the main differences being that their coats change colors during the later seasons.
Yeah. Yes, actually. That is a very accurate description of the difference between a weasel and a stoat.
Nice to meet you, Sebastian.
And Sebastian will kind of scurry over to Oria and just kind of like sniff, reaches his nose out to like sniff your hand. And then he'll just kind of just like paw tap the tips of your fingers.
Oh, he's adorable.
Yes.
And
But-
to Theodora, remember, some animals are friends and people keep them as friends.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
he's not completely real?
And at
So-
that moment is when Mary returns. You hear the bustling as she returns, now with even more flowers, carrying trays of the charcuterie board, cheese for Blackstone, as well as the lavender tea, the orange blossom. It's literally in a teacup, and there's a stem kind of coming out from where you would normally pick up the teacup. And at the top is a beautiful orange that's kind of hanging on the vine. As well as your tea as well, Oria. All right. Sorry. I know I'm interrupting, but y'all are standing. You could totally take a seat, and get more acclimated with each other's.
Do you? I was not aware that we were allowed to take any of the furnishings of the establishment outside.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Sit on a seat, not take it.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh.
okay. I understand. Okay. Yes, you can sit down. I prefer if you kept the seats here, but you can take a spot in whatever would be the most comfortable for you.
Ah, okay. Then I will, and I sit in a seat, and then take some of the tea that was brought and pour it into the saucer and put cheese in it. I am going to use the shape water cantrip to keep the tea separate from the cheese.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So what does this look like as you are doing this?
Like, I don't know if anybody could, like, if anybody would, like, notice it really, because I'm using, like, the hand that I'm holding the saucer in to cast it. But then you see, like, a small, like, lump moving within the fold of my hood. And a small mouse comes out to the plate and starts eating some of the cheese and sipping on some of the tea.
Mm-hmm. What does the mouse look like, Blackstone?
It is like it's a very small creature with a very pink nose and like kind of bluish gray fur. It has a medium length tail.
You just see it slowly eating the cheese, and every once in a while kind of lifts its paws over to where the steaming hot water is and kind of like almost warming hands, and then goes back to eating the cheese, and you see the cheese is actually like melting a little bit as he's going at it. But yeah, you are all there.
This is Corbin.
Ooh, another companion.
Mm-hmm.
Theodora does not look at Corden like she could eat him because tiny little mouse that's not going to yield much meat.
Corbin was my graduation present from the school that I went to. It was the second to last lesson that they gave me on caring for living things.
What school did you go to?
Yeah.
It was a magic school in the capital city before I came here.
Oh, that's interesting. What brings everyone here? We're here for the festival, potentially.
Oh, I was just picking up some packages.
Do you live here in this town, city?
No, I've recently traveled here.
Now, at this point, each one of you, actually, what's everyone's passive perception?
Ooh,
13.
14.
15.
14.
All right, so Sarah, as you were saying this, you were starting to hear outside was loud. Starting to get a little bit louder. You hear raised voices, as well as a very large, it's kind of tell exactly what it is, but it's a very large cart moving across the cobblestone ground at a very fast pace, too fast for what you have come to know to be driving through the city safely.
Sareth will just kind of stop and act like, essentially like they're trying to hear something.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll turn back to everyone and say, it was nice to meet you all. And we'll start to walk away. And then we'll just call over their shoulder, Bashy, we need to go. And Bash will take a running leap, and you think he's going to jump onto the floor, but instead he jumps into the air and he turns completely golden and ethereal, and he flies over and lands back on Sarah's shoulder.
All right. And you are heading outside. What are the rest of you doing?
Was it something we said?
You are all now starting to hear the noise as well as just because the abruptness of the nature of what just happened.
Well, perhaps that noise outside has something to do with it, but it would be a shame to have ordered this tea and not finish it, so I think I'll do that first.
I'm sure Sarah could take care of whatever's outside, right? We don't need to go.
I don't know what it is that's outside.
Also,
Is it those minotaurs again?
I certainly hope it isn't. That would be most unpleasant, but then again, she might not be as kind as I was.
That's true. I mean, I'm sure no one else is here. We could probably walk out and see what's outside, and our tea and stuff will still be here.
Well, I'll keep watch over it if you'd like.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna go see what's outside.
Right.
They went very quickly, and now I'm very curious. And Oria is gonna kind of pop up and kind of rush outside.
Sure. So you rush outside. The busy street, you see people are starting to scream and move to the side as this carriage, instead of being on 4 wheels, is on 2. And it is flying down the street across the cobblestones. You, Sarah, also see this as well. It's chasing the 2 Minotaur that were dealing with Blackstone earlier. But there's something wrong. There's a large black energy that's kind of almost looking like veins coming out of the very center of this carriage where one would normally sit. There is what appears to be blue energy coming out of one of the wheels and kind of swiping down towards the larger of the 2 Minotaur, as well as some of the civilians that are also in the vicinity are now being hunted down by this carriage. There's a black, almost obsidian gem in the very center of the carriage that's pulsating and making those veins pop out a bit more. I'm gonna need you and Sarah to roll initiative. Cal, you are just coming to the scene with Sam in tow, as you've been able to locate them.
Sam is with you. We'll all live.
Their classes. So
would I have enough time to yell?
You would, as a bonus action, yes, you would have totally time.
But not before we roll.
For sure. And let me, hang on one moment while I try and find my fighting music. Because I would like to do that. Alright. So.
I rolled a 16.
Okay, let me written down. Sarah was 16. Alright.
So am I just walking up and I'd see the scene?
You hear the noise, like Sam's been kind of like, yeah, I'm taking like Professor Xavier's class. I don't really know about a lot about stars, and he's all about that. So it looks like that'll be really, wait, what's that? And like as this is kind of happening and shifting in.
And so, so again, like just to clarify,
sure,
you can't see.
You're a street away. You can hear the noise. You're literally around the corner from it.
And that's when I'll say, will that be a problem then? Sam, could you go? You could follow if you like, Sam. You follow if you like, but this seems like to be a bit of a commotion. If you want to go fetch the guard, you feel more than welcome to. But I feel like I must go make sure everyone's all right.
Do you just want me to go to the tea shop, or like, well, I can hold your books for you if you want.
You know what, Sam? That'd be fantastic. Thank you. And he hands the bag of his books with all of the books except for his spell book, and walks off. He's not running yet, but he is like doing a little speed walk with his.
For sure. And the crowds are pushing past you, trying to get away. As you hear this loud kind of explosion happening. Seraph and Oria, that's when it's going for the hit, and you just see this blue flame kind of down towards some of the civilians. Cal, you can go ahead and roll initiative as well. Oria, what did you roll?
16.
16 as well. Who is the higher dex?
Probably Oria.
Mine's a +4.
Yeah, I have a +1.
Okay.
And I roll initiative just for fun.
Yes, you can, of course. Because actually, I was going to make you do that anyway. Sin, you can as well.
Theodora senses a fight.
I sense a disturbance in the force. So, all right.
14.
14.
13 on Cal.
Okay. All right. Sin, you got, okay. All right. So, this cart is pushing down the road towards the Minotaurs that I mentioned, as well as now several civilians that, you know, in those movies just can't seem to maybe perhaps just divert to the left or right or just running straight. So going ahead and is going to make 2 attacks against. Okay, he hits the Minotaur. You see, again, this blue flame. It's like literally a flaming wheel. And as it connects with the larger of the 2 Minotaurs, it hits him in the leg. And all of a sudden, you see him kind of like stop, and you see these icicles forming from where the attack hit. He is now stuck in place. Gonna make another attack towards. Let's see if he rolls against the civilians. He swipes towards a dwarf that is running in place with a bunch of different items, shopping for the day for the festival, misses, and it ends up hitting a cart that was just there with a bunch of different supplies. Oria, you were up first. Seraph, you were on deck.
So it's a wagon.
It's a very large wagon. There's
That is
something wrong with
self-propelled.
it.
There's no horses or anything on it.
There's
correct?
no horses. There's no rider. It is like looking almost like what in our nowadays would be like an automaton, a robot kind of being pushed through the streets. But something about it just seems very off. You haven't gotten close enough to do an inspection of it.
How far is it from us?
Right now, it's about 15 feet away.
Okay, Oria's immediately going to take to the air and fly right above it.
Okay. All right. How high are you flying up?
How tall is it?
So it's about 10 feet, I would say. So it's
Okay.
not super, super tall because it's a cart, but it's pretty substandard.
Then I'll go 10 feet up and then 15 feet over.
Okay.
Which should give me enough to land on it. This might
You
be a
can
really
certainly
stupid
try.
idea.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to land on it.
Okay. Why don't you make a dex save with
See?
this?
I'm good at those. Oh god, that's somewhere else now. 18.
You are able to land. It is like almost like a wild horse trying to buck you off as you are landing. You also feel for a moment this pulse of cold energy. You especially feel it. It is unsettling.
Okay. And then I guess I'm gonna hit it.
Go for it.
I have a kick a wheel. I kick the wheel that I'm next to.
Do it. Okay.
That's an unarmed strike. 8.
Really kicking the tires and lighting the fires, are you?
Yeah. 8 plus 6 is 14.
Just hits. You're able to hit it. What does it look like as you're hidden?
It's the same plus, but can I use my quarterstaff instead and try to shove it in the wheel?
Yes.
Yeah, I would do that instead.
Okay.
I pull out behind me. No one has seen it, but it's a quarterstaff that as soon as I flick it, it opens into full length. And I just try to like shove it and hit the wheel to slow this thing down.
Yep. Are you aiming for, here's a question. Are you aiming for one of the wheels that's propelling it forward? Or are you going for one of the wheels that's acting as a hand?
Propelling it forward.
Wiping? Okay.
I
All
want
right.
to stop its movement
Okay.
if possible.
All right. Let me roll a strength to see. That's a 1. So, and the whole cart starts to push forward, falling in that moment. I will say with your ability and the fact that you rolled that dex save, you're able to kind of maneuver backwards so you're not falling off unless you wanted to and kind of parkour up, or you can stay on it, but you're now on its back. What would you prefer to do?
When it flips, I just kind of like flutter and like takes like a quick flutter back and then lands on top of it.
Sure. Okay. All right. That is your move. All right, Seraph, you are up, and Theodora, you're on deck.
All right. So, Seraph is immediately going to see what's happening, see Oria jump into action, and, sorry, did you say it was 1 wheel or 2?
It's 2 wheels that are kind of using it to swing. It was moving around on now basically 1 wheel, but it just got tripped and you see it falling to the ground.
Got it. Seraph is going to hold on to the quarterstaff.
Okay.
And is going to essentially cast guiding bolt.
Okay.
At the wheel, the one that's left.
Okay, go for it.
That is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Perfect. Um, 12, 14, 15. 15 points of radiant damage, and the next attack on it has advantage.
Okay. All right. So you see that other wheel gets tripped. The other one sparks. And it almost looks like starlight flying off of it. And the embers of it starting, because it is a carriage, it's slightly flammable, starting to catch flame. All right. Anything else, Sarah? And I'm sorry, anything else, Oria? Because I don't know. Did you roll damage too?
I did not roll damage.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage, because that would make sense. You're doing something to stop it. It would make sense to go ahead.
No, I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Just if I have 2 different damage dice, the lower one is one-handed, the higher one is two-handed, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Got it in both hands. Thank God it's a +4. 5!
Okay. All right. Hey. Every little bit helps. All right. Amazing. Theodora, you are up, and then Cal, you are on deck.
Okay, I hear the ruckus, and I think I probably hear Oria like making some kind of noise. I'm like, oh, she's fighting. Rush out of the tea shop, and the carriage is like basically right in front of the tea shop at this point, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's been moving, and now you see it falling to the ground.
Okay.
And you do have advantage.
Awesome. I will pull out my maul, because it seems like a sword's not gonna. And Theodora's mind, she's like, a sword's not gonna do shit. I'll just smash it, and I will attack.
Go for it.
Okay. That it's gonna be a dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's 10 damage.
Okay. What does it look like as you are hitting it?
It is just brute fucking strength. I see the glow from Sarah's guiding bolt, and I just focus in on that, and it's not even like... in this moment, I'm like a silent predator. I rush up to it and just bash it with my fucking maul, and like wood splinters sort of spray away from the carriage.
Amazing. Fantastic.
And let me see what else I can do. Is it already tipping over?
Oh, it's on the ground. It's prone.
Okay.
So
Okay. All right. Well, I was gonna do a trip attack, but it's already prone. So,
Yup.
I think that'll be the end of my turn.
All right. Cal, you are up. Blackstone, you're on deck.
All right, as Cal runs up, I'm seeing the 3 already engaged with this animate carriage. Is Sam near me? Did I clock that? Did Sam follow me, or did he?
Sam, you can see, is like holding your books and doing the awkward thing. Oh God, don't drop it kind of thing, and just staying where they're at right now. So you're fine.
Okay, I didn't know. Like, I was just seeing, like, did Sam follow me? Did
No, Sam
did
is
veer off?
chilling for the moment.
All right, so he looks back and see Sam, and he actually looks at everything. He's looking around and goes, I didn't bring it today. No, all right, Drix. And he he kneels down on the ground and pulls his spellbook out and lays his spellbook open. Drix, I need a little bit of expediency here. And pops out. Cal, how are you now? I'm good, and you? Not so bad. Fair enough. Good stuff. All right, now fast, very quickly this time. Drix, I need you to detect any magic in the area. So he's like, Cal has moved up. Before he knelt down and pulled the book out, he got close enough to like catch the carriage in the 30 feet of detect magic, but
Yep.
he's also trying to just check for the area because he's trying to see, is this being run on its own power or is someone puppeteering this thing?
Okay.
So,
Why don't you
without
do...
meta, he got about 10 feet from the carriage
Okay.
to try to do this. So he's 10 feet from the direction he was approaching the carriage to get that and pull around the area. So he does that, and Cal says, "No worries," or Dirk, "No worries, Cal. I got it for you." And as he reaches up, there's like this green umbrella of like these not work threads that come off of Cal's hand, or like Caldrick's hands from the book. He did not prepare the spell today, but as an order of the scribes wizards, once a day he can cast a ritual spell without adding the 10 minutes. And so he's doing that right now. And so Drix has to do it for him since he didn't prepare it. Drix shoots these little threads up in the air, and as they settle down, the magic that they settle upon kind of does the shapes in the rain. They pass through all mundane things, and they're doing the shapes in the rain thing for Cal. So what is Cal seeing now?
So you see that the force that is pushing the carriage and making it animated is coming from that gem in the very center of it.
Right.
You also see, being that you are a bit more attuned to it, all magic, whether it be crystal or not, leaves a trail. And the rain hums further out from the city, going beyond the walls.
Tracing up the road that the carriage was going down, or okay, so
Tracing back behind it, so
Right.
it was moving away. Yes.
all right. So was it on the road, or was it kind of off-roading it before it hit everything?
Looks like it was on the road for a moment,
Right.
and then
But it traces. I can see. So Cal's gonna take a second to like just on the ground next to him. He's gonna use his claw to draw an arrow in the direction that he saw that the trail going.
Yep.
Just where he thinks the source of the trail is, and he looks up at the fighters engaged in this, and he centers his thoughts on the pixie. And the pixie that he could see. And in Oria's head, you hear, terribly sorry to not ask for permission, but I need to let you know, the Onyx is driving the carriage.
The Onyx is driving the carriage, she
Yes,
says.
please.
out loud.
I'll introduce myself later, but right now the Onyx is driving the carriage.
Thank you.
What? On it? What are you talking about? Fight the fucking carriage.
And that's gonna be Cal's turn.
all right. Blackstone, you are up. Then it's the carriage. Then it's Oria.
Have I been informed that this whole thing is happening with the carriage
Been
outside?
hearing it enough, and probably at this point you've been seeing it kind of drive by because y'all didn't go super far into the shop. So at this point, you've definitely seen it going down the street. And at this point, specifically hearing those Minotaur voices again, although much higher pitched, you can guess that it's some serious trouble.
It's kind of like, I wonder if this is part of the festival. It seems very spirited if it is. Oh, the Minotaurs. I take a long look at Corbin, who's probably finishing tea and cheese, and go, I'm supposed to use my abilities to help living things, even if they are unpleasant. Okay, Corbin, we have to go. And Corbin just kind of climbs back into like the parts of the armor that are like safest for him to be in.
Yep, you hear him going as he kind of disappears into your cloak.
And I head outside.
Okay. You see this cart, massive cart has tipped over. There is a black energy emitting from it. You see your new friend Oria is now floating above it. Theodora has clearly done some damage. And Sereth is right there as well, kind of in that stance of having just attacked it as well.
Do I see like what part of it they're attacking?
I mean, basically it's been the whole cart. Y'all have been largely going for the legs for all intents and purposes, the wheel. But that's really in this moment of you rushing out there, that's all you can see.
So like it's just a giant cart. The cart is tipped over. Like I don't see, and I see a black energy. Do I see with us?
Yeah, you see the black energy emitting out of it. You see one of the wheels is flamed with blue energy. You see the Minotaur is not far away, kind of frozen. It's too loud. Frozen in their spot. And the other wheel is kind of starting to spark and flame up a little bit, but that's about it.
Okay. How much movement do I have to get to this cart?
It's not far. It's maybe 5-10 feet.
Okay. Then I'm gonna have to walk over there.
Okay.
With my little short sword over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I could if I can spot where the source of this energy is coming from. I'm going to take a swing at it.
Okay. Again, think of, although it's covered now, but you can still see the kind of trail leading from the back of the cart. Everything's pulling towards the chest where something may be hidden underneath the now prone cart.
Okay, I'm gonna go have a look at that then.
Okay. It's underneath, so are you trying to push to see, like pull up the cart side to see, like what are you doing to try and do that?
If it's tilted over, I'm just going to kind of push it the rest of the way to go have a look. If it's upright, I'm just gonna climb under it.
It's completely down. It got knocked prone by Oria. So it's knocked prone. Oria is kind of floating above it. It's already basically on its stomach. It's basically someone did a belly flop into the pool. That's the position it's in currently. So the chest part is completely covered and on the ground.
Okay, then I'm gonna try to turn it over.
Okay. Do strength, because it's a cart.
Not the strongest person in the room, but we'll give that a try. Just a straight strength roll.
Yep.
That is a 5.
Nope. You can feel it give slightly, but not enough.
That's going to be it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Next up is, let's see. The cart is going to move out of its prone position. That's going to take its full movement to do. Let's see who he's going to attack. It's going to kind of move around and kind of quickly slash in the direction that Oria was in. So that's going to be a 19 to hit.
Yes, that does hit.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, it doesn't help me.
Okay, guess it's this. All right. That is going to be 13 points of cold damage, and I need you to make a Constitution savings throw.
That was a 2. No, sorry. In total, that is a 3 because I rolled a nat 1.
Okay.
Really, April 2s again?
I thought it was a 1 plus a 1. It was a 1 plus a 2, but it's
Oria,
still a natural 1.
How high are you flying off of the ground?
So when it flipped, I was probably hovering like 5 feet above it. I wasn't that high. I didn't have that much movement left.
Your wings behind you. You feel the color drain and stop. I need you to roll to see if you can land safely.
Cool. Dexterity?
Mm-hmm.
17.
Okay. Yep. You're able to land. Your wings are fine. They're not icicles, but they have cooled quickly. You, as a fairy, know that ice is particularly a problem for you.
Yeah,
So-
we can't fly in the cold.
Not so great. So, but they're still there. Don't worry.
Cool,
But,
cool, cool.
but you can't in that moment.
Mhm.
All right. It's gonna make another attack. This time towards. Now you're still in its sight. That's gonna be you again, Oria. That's gonna be a
It totally
15.
makes sense. 15?
15.
Misses.
Oh, okay. So it hits you. You land, and then it tries to. You see it coming in with its other wheel, which has at this point the wheel has gone from being circular to you see the sections folding back almost into a sphere and spear and kind of shoving towards you, and you're able to duck out of the way quickly. That is it for the cart. Oria, you are up. Seraph, you are on deck.
Cool. I'm now upset about this. But on the plus side, we can now see the gem, correct?
Yes,
Crystal.
it is. Yes, and the cart at this point too, it's gone from that wooden grain to
Mhm.
that black, almost vein energy has almost completely overtaken the cart to the point that it is, at least in your memory, Oria, having been from the north and seeing those dark nights, it is darker than you have ever seen it.
Okay.
Completely colorless. And it is probably covering at this point about 70% of the cart.
Cool. Well, I'm since I used my quarterstaff to stop the wheel, I probably let that go. So I'm just gonna start punching this thing in the crystal area.
Okay.
So my first hit will be another natural 1.
Oh. Okay.
So that dice is on the other side of the room now. And then I'm just gonna flurry of blows it because I would like to hit it again.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use D&D Beyond now and see if that's better to me.
Okay.
17.
17 hits.
Cool. So that's 7 points of damage.
Okay.
Bonus action, I can punch it again, or is flurry of blows? Yeah, I can punch it again with my bonus action.
Okay.
23. I'm not
Yeah,
using real
that
dice
definitely
anymore.
hits.
And that does 6 points of damage.
All right.
And then my thing happens.
All right.
A thing happens when I use flurry of
Mhm.
blows.
That it does.
I need to roll a d20 and see if we are in trouble or not. I rolled a 19.
Okay.
So what you see is Oria punch miss and just be angry, go pop, pop, and then poofs out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
And
That happens
is
sometimes.
the end of my turn.
All right. And you actually see the gem. Oria has just hit it. The gem is starting to crack on the center of the carriage. Seraph, you are now up. Theodora, you're on deck.
Perfect. How far away is the cart from me?
5 or 6 feet. It's not
Perfect.
far.
Seraph is going to take their quarterstaff and place it in the other hand and hold it, and then is going to essentially reach for the sky and will pull essentially what looks like a single star and will whip it towards the gem,
Okay.
and will cast Constellation Whip.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Brr, 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 brr.
Gotta love the homebrew, y'all.
Yes. That's a natural 20.
Our first that's what of the game.
Hell yes.
We deserve it after April's been rolling all these ones.
It's balanced.
The dice is over there now. It's not
Balanced.
happening again.
Nope.
All right.
Is that crit?
How do you do your crit rolls, Jordan?
So double the damage. And then you need to roll another, I think it's a D8 on top of it. Basically, it's your max damage that you could do. You get it.
Okay, so if I'm
whatever your max damage would be, that is what is hitting. Because I think it's really ridiculous to roll and then get a bunch of ones when you're doing something very epic.
Okay.
So, and I will say, this is Duval's rule. So Duval, this is your credit. So you just get the maximum of whatever it is.
Okay, so if my damage die is a D6,
That'd be a 12 then.
a 12. Perfect. And then I also roll a D8.
Mhm.
6. So 18 total.
Okay. All right. 18 is the roll. So there you go. You do 18 points of damage. The small crack that Oria had built in starts to take up half of the gem. I know, it's almost time, honey. It sounds like food. Take up half of the gem itself. You did a lot. And you actually see for a moment the black energy around the carriage recedes a little bit before it pushes forward. Theodora, you were up. Cal, you were on deck.
Okay, so this gem is cracking even further.
It is not. It's still up by our definition to be bloodied,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's not down yet.
Okay. 15 to hit.
15 does hit.
That is 13 damage.
How do you want to do this?
I just smack it with my fucking maul. Like I see, I saw Blackstone going for this gem. I see Oria and Sereth attack it, and I just sort of snarl and like, sort of move, almost sort of bestial over to this fucking gem, and just like, it just, well, both hands. It's two-handed. It's just kind of like up above my head, like I'm doing a workout, and just bash it down.
Heck yes. As your maul connects with the gem, that black crystal, you hear almost like lightning as the cracks envelop across it. The cart is enveloped with that black energy. And I actually need Oria, Theodora, Sereth, and Blackstone to all roll dexterity savings throws.
Oh, God.
And this is a magical effect, correct?
Right.
Okay, so I have advantage on that one.
I got a nat 1.
Oh no!
Thanks,
got
April.
6.
Just kidding.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's a 2 total.
Okay. This is fine.
I got 6.
It's fine. I'm strong.
Okay.
I got 17.
Okay.
I got a 9.
Okay.
Oh,
Rip.
So
well, Duval's gonna get what he wants.
I guess I'm coming back as a barbarian.
I'm
in
doing
that
just
moment,
fine over here.
as the cart shatters, there's an electric pulse coming out from where the cart was standing.
Mhm.
Anyone that rolled below an 11 is going to take 12 points of damage.
Okay, ain't nothing.
I would like to have a reaction, please.
For sure. You can.
Like, actually, you wouldn't be able to see this happen under all of these clothes, but you see, like, the energy of this electrical thing
Yeah.
go into Blackstone a little bit. Like there should be damage he's taking, but he doesn't take anywhere near as much.
Mhm.
Yeah, for absorb elements, I get to take 6 damage from that.
That's true.
Nice.
What were you saying, Sarah?
Oh, I
You're
was
the same
also
way.
going to cast Absorb Elements as a
Okay.
reaction.
Sure. You did not use your reaction, so you can.
I
But,
just take it.
Do I take half
Ain't
damage or
nothing.
anything?
yes, you would take half damage with that.
Oh no.
But with
So
that-
what does Absorb Elements? Does it give?
It gives you
it
gives you
halves it.
resistance immediately, so you take half damage, and then you can take whatever element was absorbed and use it to do damage to something else the next time you
Perfect.
attack.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, the cart falls apart. Not even leaving splinters. Instead, there's a large blast radius of arcane energy that was just released.
If Cal was still concentrating on detect
Yes.
magic, okay.
You see the trail, Cal.
Mhm.
The connection was severed, leading just outside the walls. Where? You're not certain.
Do I see the 2 Minotaur there?
You do. One of them is crying and calling for their mother. The other, the smaller one, has left. They've gone. They've pieced out. They left the big one there that got stuck.
Are they
Oria.
still stuck in ice?
Yeah, their leg is stuck in ice still.
I would like to
Initiative-
use shape water to remove the ice that's trapping them.
Oh, thank God. Shit.
Oria pops back into existence 5 feet to the left of where she disappeared from.
Did Cal keep track of Oria because detect magic was on?
You
Did
saw
Cal-
her blink, but disappear. You didn't see where she might have popped up. She
It
basically.
didn't track the aura of her.
Mm-mm.
Okay, got it.
When I do pop back, you see kind of these leaves and stuff kind of pop back with her. And a very woodland smell.
You should tell the people that you have in your back pocket about whatever this was, because this seems like a problem.
And as Blackstone says that, the Minotaur looks menacingly over. The group, somewhat brought together, still strangers. Some of you still haven't met. But the feints and threads have already started to come together. And that is where we're going to end this episode of Ampistrano for today, y'all. Woo! Amazing job. You took out a carriage. That was left up.
So we're level 5 now.
No.
Okay.
One way
Did
to
you just skip 4 altogether?
Yeah, I was
Yes,
like, you
I-
skipped 4.
I'm skipping because I want my extra attack. So you're welcome, April. I'm trying to get you an extra attack too.
Everybody
Look,
likes
I
that
didn't even
level
use
5.
all my attacks that I had the first time around, so it's fine.
But this has been a ton of fun, y'all. Thank you so much. We are going to do a go around of who we are, where you can find us and support. And we are going to get ready for a raid. I do want to again thank my amazing mods for keeping our space safe. You are doing incredible work and you're so appreciated. Thank you for the clips. The clips were so much fun to watch. And really, really enjoyable.
Mama Strange is the
Mama
clipping
Strange.
queen.
For sure, earning that VIP badge. But this has been a ton of fun, and this is just the beginning. And I'm super excited. I want to again, huge shout out, props to our producer, our graphic designer, Sarah, aka Babs the Bat.
Woot!
Did incredible work. Please, please, please go follow her, but also all of these incredible people. God, I'm so excited.
This was definitely a very fun visual project. So
yeah.
you and I figuring out the look of this has been so much fun.
It's been amazing. But let's start with you, Babs. Who are you? Where we can find you, and who were you playing today?
Oh, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Babs the Bat. I am not the offstage oracle anymore. I am very happy to be playing on stream again. Speaking of that, you can also find me tomorrow over on the D4RPG channel, playing Tish, my sweet little Echo Knight Tiefling Silver Dragon character. Whatever Tish is. Yes. And it honestly, it was really hard to not refer, for Sereth not to refer to themselves in the third person. Because that's what Tish does. Yeah, you can find me also over on the ChaoticTiefling Productions channel, ChaoticTiefling ATL. We have announced it. We have a D&D surprise party coming back for its third season, its final season. It's gonna be a ride. Y'all don't want to miss it. We've been working really hard behind the scenes. Dragon has been working his butt off to bring an amazing time. That'll premiere on July 6th at 7 p.m. And will be every Wednesday in July. And yeah,
Yep.
other than Now This and Utharian Legends and all of that, that's pretty much where you can find me.
Amazing.
And I was playing Sereth.
You were?
It's
Sin,
the best.
aka Blackstone.
Hi, this is Sinziak, your resident sunflower person, with a giant shout out to the DMing skills of one D&D Jordan Lee. It's been a magical time today, so thank you so much for this. And I'm ready to make everybody cry wholesome tears in episode 2. So there's that. But when I'm not here, you can find me playing games on Tuesdays. Currently Hollow Knight, and then you can find me on the Major Linux channel on Thursdays ranting at the tech industry and games in general, except for this coming Thursday because I'm moving. So that's a whole thing that's happening. But and then you can find me back here on Saturdays, being a very wholesome robot boy who doesn't necessarily understand all the ways of living things, but is learning and trying their best.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Sen. Let's move over to Fairbear.
Hi, I'm Fair. I've been Theodora, your curious, bestial Battlemaster fighter. You can follow me on Twitter at Fairbear. Saturday nights, except for tonight, I think we might just take a little break. You can find me over on Rolling D's 20s, 9 p.m. Eastern for Philly by Night, our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle. And then Thursday nights, you could find me over on the Greater Restoration Crew, 8:30 p.m. Eastern for Titan's Grave Season 2. Best place to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, is Twitter. So follow me there.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fairbear.
Thank
April.
you, Jordan.
You're welcome.
You cute with your cute face.
You're both so cute. Everyone in this room is cute. All of y'all are cute. Oh no. Hi, I'm April. You can find me all over the internet as April Raygun. Today I played the I don't have a funny way to say that yet. The Monkin Fairy. Ha!
There you go.
I played your Monkin Fairy today. Way of the Fleet-Footed, a special subclass. I would like to say real quick, just because it's for 7. Thank you, Ashen. Ashen and Jordan has been working on my subclass over this ridiculous thing I wanted to build. So thank you both for that. You can find me on Tuesdays playing Redwall is now on VOD because our game is finished. So please check out the VODs on the amphitheater.
The instant realization on April's face as she went into that.
Y'all,
Jumal's calling you out in chat. Oh no.
Sorry, we've been playing that for a while now, and that just ended. So please check that out on the VODs. You can find me this Tuesday playing Dread Tales on Fort Nerd. And we have a lot of really cool announcements over at North by Northwest for our new game coming out. We have some really cool people, one of them in this room, who are going to be announcing our players very soon. Vampire with Table Goth is coming out very soon, and the Chthonic kids. Yeah, the Chthonic kids are getting Good Society ready, and we got Fables coming at you next month with Carry and Comfort. So check my Instagram while I go have a very sad realization that I am no longer playing a cleric or water. Duval, I love you. Jordan, you're amazing. Everyone here's amazing. Sorry.
Finn.
You come for the break, Jordan. You stay for the break, Duval.
Oh.
Because that's what just happened. I'm Finnegan Archer, the Bloodhaven Bard. The best way to keep up with anything I'm doing is on Twitter at Bloodhaven Bard, where I talk about my affinity for comic books, sci-fi, and humans. And you could also see me tomorrow morning on the D4 Twitch channel, where I'm going to be playing Robin Wayfair, just the most emo bard that he can be right now, and just going through his dark phase. And if you would, please remember those commands at the top of the game. Exclamation point, Simon, exclamation point, Persephoroth, for some lovely people. Thank you so much for the signal boost. To Jordan, thank you so much for the great game, Jordan, but thank you so much to the signal booth, because Simon is my own dear son, who I just thank you everyone who has reached out so far and has shown all the good things. I'm going to stop talking and say love you all, especially you. Okay, bye.
Jordan, you're amazing.
Thank you. Hi everybody, I am D&D Jordan Lee, and this is Salem's butt in my face, because that's life. I have been your storyteller for today, your dungeon master or mistress, you know, depending on the mood. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, and seeing where this story goes, and I'm super excited. The Patreon is going to be live in an hour. I'm going to get some food because I deserve some food.
Yeah, you do.
And then it will be live. So if you want to get some extras as well as support the cast, because seriously, all those subs and bits, anytime you use any of the affiliate codes, it's going towards the cast, it's going towards the show. I really want to make this show something that is bringing a plethora of amazing people onto it. Diversity that is not only outwardly but inwardly, and just signal boosting some incredible people in this community, as well as telling an amazing story with my friends and building this world. So I'm super excited, y'all. It's just been good, and again, massive thank you to my players for just jumping on in with fighting a cart for things. We'll see what pops up, but we're gonna head out. You can find me tomorrow morning. I'm streaming Brunchapalooza, doing something completely different. Goblin Katie and I will be having mimosas and playing New World and trying to not die. Heads up, we die a lot. As well as I'll be playing Dead by Daylight again this week. And then we'll be back here again next Saturday. But this is it, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and raid, because yes. So let's go ahead and use that raid call of ours. It's a call from a wild. It's a haven raid, because this is a safe haven.
CB just went live.
Yep, that's exactly who I was reading. So good call. So let's go throw some love to Critical Bard. Again, special shout out again to, I see you, Lynn, in chat. If you
Hire
are a
Lynn!
fan,
Oh my gosh, please hire Lynn.
if you love the artwork you're seeing, go hire Lynn. But also, I'm going to say this too, because Lynn is more than just an artist of paper. Lynn is also an artist when it comes to TTRPG performances. So, hire Lynn and bring Lynn into your games. Lynn is already on my list, and we've already chatted a little bit about she will be guesting on the episode as well. We are working on getting that figured out. But please, 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 all of this is incredible. Go and hire Lynn, please. Lynn's a joy. Lynn is also working on a project that the cast knows about that I haven't chatted about publicly yet. So, but everyone, thank you so much. We're going to get out of here. Take care of yourselves. And in this dark, dark time that we are in, just know that you are not alone. And we're always just beyond the veil. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.